I have said this not on video, but many a times when I do various sessions. There are no new ideas in the world. What we're doing is process improvisation or idea improvisations. You can take any example of any product, and what we are trying to do is either add a new feature, what nobody else is offering, or try to create a product with a culmination of two, three ideas. I'll give you a small example. Today, I was looking at the morning feed and I realized there is a new app in town. Now, what they're doing is when you want to travel from point A to point B, they look at the prices of various cab aggregators or taxi aggregators and gives you which is the most economical option so that you can go ahead and book them. Otherwise, today you open two, three apps, put your location and where you're going to, and then start looking at what's the price and then go to other app and check. But now this app will bring everything together. Now it becomes a super app for cab aggregators. If you look at this idea came because there is something what the other aggregators are not focusing on, which is looking at showing you their competitive prices or competitor prices. Product management has come a long way. Initially, we were looking at just managing a product, looking at the requirements, developing the product, launching it, taking consumer feedback, and then improvising on your product. Now, this was manual earlier. Then we had a lot of data mining tools which came into picture. We started using them and then started looking at compiling all these recordings and then putting ahead and then building a product. Now things have changed with AI. Every product manager today is becoming more smarter. We will walk through what are the various things what a product manager can do using AI. And before I begin, I just want to have this disclaimer. This video is not sponsored. I'm not talking for any company or any of the tools what I'm going to use here, or any examples of any products which I talk about are coming from my personal experience and not with anybody's intervention. I'm not paid. I'm not doing any promotion for anybody. With that, let's get started. The key aspect of product management is understanding how to use the available tools and you becoming smarter. And for you to become smarter, you need to understand what kind of tools are available and what tools you should use for your product and your product management. All right. So let's begin with the code. The future of product management isn't about AI replacing human creativity, but augmenting it. All of us are living in this world where AI will replace everything. Will replace, but it will take a long time. The smartness in your capabilities comes how you can tame AI to do your work. All right. So that's what AI is all about. We are still at the initial stages. There are a lot of unsolved problems with AI, and also there are a lot of solved problems with AI. I was listening to a podcast 2 days ago, and this is about AI in marketing and content creation. And the speaker was saying that AI can't replace a lot of things what we do in marketing today. I mean, and we're not talking about the small scale. He is a very big. He has a very big startup back in the US, and this is what he had to say. And it's very amazing to see these kind of people making the statement who have spent a lot of time in the field and who know what their job is. So AI will have a long way, but before it hits or before you get there, once you start taming AI to the way you want things to run, trust me, it'll become your companion and it'll not become your competition, and it can't replace your creativity. That's the most important aspect of AI. Now, earlier, product management was about the three corners of the triangle: time, money, and resources. This is what we focused on. This is what we have traditionally built our skill sets on. How can I use the money, what is allocated, very intelligently controlling the time and resources so that I can get the most optimal output. Now things have changed, and what you are seeing here are the more important aspects of product management. These three are now becoming part of product management. It's nothing new. All of us know how to do it. All of us know how to spend the money. All of us know how to identify the right resources within the time frame, and that becomes a core skill set. But the core skill sets are this: how are you using data to make your decisions? Earlier, we were not making decisions on based on data. Yes, to a certain extent, but not everybody was could afford getting a lot of data for them to do the understanding and then make decisions based off it. But now, because there are tools available, it becomes more easy. Data-driven decision making becomes the first one. Understanding user experience. When initially mobile apps were launched, there were not many tools which can help you understand the user flow when somebody is using your app. But today, there are dime a dozen and you can use them. So with this, you can also understand how frustrating is it for a user to use a certain set of your component of your app, or how complicated is the workflow for them to get the whole thing done. Right? We still have problems. So, for example, I'll tell you. Yesterday, I was trying to buy a phone bumper, and I went to this website and I selected. I liked one. I selected. Went to the cart, and when I tried to pay, it said payment cannot be accepted on this. Now, what happens in a regular scenario? People would just bounce off the website. But because I liked that bumper case, I wrote to their support, which was very good. They responded back in 5 minutes and said, "We apologize for this. Please use this link to make your purchase." So I went through that link and purchased. But trust me, 9 out of 10 will never write to the customer care. So they should have had something on the website or redirected the consumer from the website. They're losing the sale. They're losing the business. I'm not losing anything. It's just because I liked it. And yesterday I was free a little bit. So, and I wrote to them and the response came, and then I placed the order. So managing a product is just not about creating a product and leaving it to the market. You need to ensure the consumer comes, and if the consumer comes, it's very difficult today in today's world to get a consumer onto your website. And once they come, you can't let go of them. It becomes very expensive. So the user experience here was bad. Efficiency. How efficient can you become while doing your product management? How do you integrate various technologies to make your platform or your product more efficient? That's the one of the key important parameters. What are the new trends which are coming up for you so that you can get ideas? Now, there are a lot of people on YouTube who are teaching you how to find ideas. And a few things caught my attention, and I will do a separate video. How do you find ideas or problems to solve? Not all problems are being solved. Trust me, there is one interesting video. I will do it another time, and I will also give you the link to the primary one where I heard that. Amazing done, but everything needs a lot of effort, but this needs a lot more effort. So what it is meaning is you have the tools to find ideas which you can solve. So for your product also, you can capture your competition and understand what they're missing and build your product based on what they're missing, and you might have a market out there. Last but not the least is the feedback. How well you augment feedback, how well you close the loop with your consumer. This becomes very, very important. So these are the 5 key important aspects for today's product managers. Now, in this video, what I will try to do is walk you through each of them and why you should focus on each one of them and what are the tools available in market today. I picked few tools which I can share with you, and over the later set of videos, I will go into each of these things and try to explain with a practical example and how you design your entire workflow to address that particular aspect. Let's get it. Data-driven decision. The best leaders are those who know how to combine data with intuition. This is why I started my video saying AI is not going to replace you. You have to tame the video, or you have to tame your product. You have to tame your AI. Everything comes to you, right? Now, the video what I'm doing is I can put this on any automated tool, write the script, and let them do the video, but it doesn't convey the actual meaning. It doesn't have brain. I have to tell it word by word so that everything comes out. But when I do the video myself, there is an aspect of emotion, there is an aspect of experience, there is an aspect of intuition which comes in when I start sharing. So there is this huge difference between a human being and AI. Now, we should use AI to enhance our outcomes rather than anything else. So that's what I wanted to convey using this code. Now, why data-driven decisions are very important? Ensures objectivity, minimizes your biasness. It's very easy to get biased, but when you have the data supporting your decision, it becomes more stronger and you have a better outcome. Insights into user behavior. You can talk to 10. See, for example, I mentioned yesterday I was wanting to buy a phone bumper. So if the company who's designed the website and things like that is capturing everything, they must have known that this user went to my website and came back and wrote me an email. But they will also have a lot of other data where it's bouncing, the sale is bouncing off because they closed off the payment gateway and they didn't redirect me to the correct gateway. So this is what happens when you have AI capturing all these data. Valid hypothesis. Whatever hypothesis you come out for your product should be supportive. Now, if I say there is a problem in the market where people are searching 2-3 apps for finding the right cab fare or the most economical cab fare, I'm talking about the 10 people I see around. But just imagine if I have the data of all people who are trying to find a cab using the ride-hailing app. That's more powerful. How many people are looking at 2 services, 3 services, 4 services, and which one are they finally picking, and those trends. That's where you get to your hypothesis to build your product. And end of the day, you are making informed innovation for enhancing your product. Now, what are the tools which you can use for data-driven decision making? Full story for session replay and HL and heat maps and all these things. Gainsight PX for product intelligence. Amplitude for predictive analytics. Mixpanel for behavioral analytics. Mixpanel is quite famous and most of us are using it in our daily lives from a long time now. Product board for feedback aggregation and prioritization. Userleap for NLP driven surveys, and Heap for automated data capture. Now, I'm just trying to find some examples to share with you so that you can get started if you are getting to start to understand what tools are there. I'm sure you do a simple search and you can find them, but I'm just trying to put things together so it becomes more easier for you. Now, over the next set of videos, I will take each component of AI in product management, the 5 components what I mentioned, and take an example and walk you through live scenarios so that there is a better understanding. If you think good designs are expensive, you don't know the cost of a bad design. I personally am somebody who have always believed in good design. When I started Haplo, I invested a huge amount of money. As a bootstrap entrepreneur, it was very expensive, but I went ahead and invested for an amazing design. It's a different story. We couldn't use the designs, and I still owe the design company. Thankful to them, they're still being patient with me. But why I went that one is because as a consumer, if you're trying to sell me something, I look at the design aspect first. I want the wow factor first. When we that's the whole intention with which we designed the whole platform, and we wanted it to be economical too. Various other reasons why we couldn't use those designs, but otherwise design is very, very important in understanding or getting your product to the end consumer. I know people, I mean, you can take me as an example. I get wowed with the design. uh, My first priority of a product is design. I can live with small nuances or drawbacks in the product, but for me the design should be captivating. Why you should focus on the design and use the AI tools to understand how people are utilizing your product is you get the customer centric approach, retention and loyalty, and better business outcomes. So you should focus on user experience. It's very important, and design becomes a part of the user experience. Um, Design will talk about how the product is seen, and the experience talks about how the person is feeling when they're using your product. The wow should always be there. I don't know if this is going to be a right example here, but I'll tell you. Um, uh, 10 years ago, I bought a bag from Tumi in the US. There was a sale, and I just got a small one. I came back to here, and there was a small defect in the entire product, and I knew for sure I was not going back in the recent time for me to exchange, and I was seeing if there's I was just searching to me, and I found it in Bangalore itself. I went to the store and said, "Look, I purchased it 10 days ago. Here is the bill, but I have a problem here. This thread is coming off." The next point they said is, leave the bag here and please pick a new one and go. That's not the experience what we create. So user experience from a hard product, what I'm talking about. And that talks volumes about the company and their commitment to their end customer. So there are times when you pay the price, but you get the similar experience. The design, the customer service, all these things become part of your user experience. And especially if you're an online product or a technology product, these things, how you respond, how you talk to them, and how you provide that experience for the user makes a lot of impact on how things can happen. So here are a couple of tools for you to utilize or get started if you want to start capturing the user experience in your technology product. The full story for session replays, Gainsight for product experience, the same things what we talked about in the first one, Spring for NLP recording and playback, and Content Square for AI-based behavior analysis and designing your KPIs or monitoring your KPIs. So you can get started here, which you to include in your platform or product, and you can see how difference does it make. The third one is efficiency. Efficiency is basically you trying to get the maximum output in the minimum time, to put it in the simple words. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away, right? That talks or communicates everything what I want to say. But how do I find the right tool? Now, this is where, as product managers, we need to pay a lot of attention to. There are n number of tools available, but finding the appropriate tool to include in your product is the most painstaking aspect. And this is where people like me come into picture, my services come into picture, where we understand the problem and we know what to bring and how to bring. Not everybody need not have that knowledge. So one project I did 2 years ago, the team gotten quite a few tools to integrate with the platform. When I walked in, and then I realized there were a lot of limitations because of the end outcome was not understood by the team. So what we did is we went back and drilled down and understood what are the key aspects of the product, what is the long-term vision of the product, and what are the stages of how it will grow. And then we kicked out a lot of tools which were not being used, and we had to find the new ones and the appropriate ones to be integrated in the system. So as a product manager, I personally strongly believe that you should have a framework of your own to identify what tools will work well for you. And these tools keep changing. Those tools, companies priorities keep changing. So today, if you're using one tool which is solving your problem 100%, tomorrow it might not be, because there's a new problem and this company's vision has changed and they're not focusing on addressing this problem at all. So it's a real complicated aspect. So as a product manager, you need to keep an eye on that. So what are the tools which you can use for measuring your efficiency or enhancing your efficiency? Jira with artificial intelligence, Jira with AI, their own thing, where it can help you prioritize your features and roadmaps and all these aspects. AHA roadmaps for roadmap optimization. Monday.com, I tried to use it, but it didn't help me a lot, so I didn't go back into using Monday. But if you're a single entrepreneur, I use Motion, so Motion should be one of the most important tools if you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, which you can use for prioritizing your tasks. Notion AI for content summarization and knowledge-based search, they're good. I use Notion to a certain extent, and I personally can say that yes, they do a good job in their AI. Craft.io for backlog information and what is pending and how you need to prioritize them. ClickUp AI for time tracking insights. So I tried using ClickUp again personally for my projects. It became too huge for me. It's too complicated. I just needed one, two, aspects from ClickUp, but it got really complicated. So for solopreneurs or independent project managers, I don't think ClickUp is the right solution. There are other solutions you can use. But if you're a team and you have everything, ClickUp can help you reduce a lot of time on a lot of other things, and you can enhance your efficiency. But believe me, all these things, all the tools here are focusing on reducing your daily workload. So not your primary workload. So these things can bring in. I'll give you an example. I want to do this as a separate video, but I'll talk about Motion and why I use that. So if you have looked at Motion app, it basically is an AI powered time scheduling platform. That's about it, nothing more. So I have 3 calendars, I connect into them, and whenever I remember a task, I just push it onto it. And what it does is basically whenever it finds a time slot free in my calendar, it keeps pushing that task. So even if I forget, it has already scheduled it on my calendar, so I know I need to work on it. Otherwise, I can move it, I can do whatever. But if you leave the AI scheduling on, that's what it does. So any task, push it, and it will keep updating your calendar, and you can see this task needs to be completed. So all the tools what I mentioned here are for enhancing efficiencies from a personal perspective and not spending time on a lot of other things. Trends, as I mentioned before, you need to keep an eye on what your competition is doing so that you can pick up what they have not done and you can make it a product of yourself. He observes trends closely, often predicts the future accordingly. So if you miss something, something else can come in. If they are missing something, something else can come out from you, so that you're predicting the future through your product. So that's what the code says. Why you should keep track of trends is because you will be closer to the market, how people are looking at it, what's your competition doing, and all these things. You can mitigate the risk. For example, if you're looking at some feature in your platform, but if the competition is not at all going that direction anyway, then probably you might be a first mover, or this feature is not required by the market. So there are a couple of things what you can do when you try to track the market trends. And here are a couple of tools for you to look at it. Again, Amplitude for behavioral trend detection, Brandwatch or Sprinkler for social media trend spotting, SimilarWeb for digital marketing trends. I did try to use SimilarWeb. It's very, very good. CB Insights for market tech scouting, uploading topics for ML, and Feedly for AI-driven content curation. For content curation, there are amazing, amazing tools. But honestly, after using Claude, after using ChatGPT, after using Notion, all these things, where I came to a conclusion. So what I do today is I first put down what I want to write or what I want to talk. All my thoughts will go into my document. Then I will use a couple of AI tools to bring the things together and have the best outcome for the language construction. So I'm today using more AI for more of structuring the content, what I've written, rather than solely relying on the AI to create the content for me. So that's how I'm using AI. Now, to close, the most important aspect again for a product manager is understanding you close the loop with your end consumer. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. So the person who's frustrated is the one who will give you a lot of feedback as to why your product has frustrated them so much, so that you can enhance your product to solve the frustration. If you have sorted the frustration of the most frustrated customer you have addressed 99% of your target audience. You can you can build your product to become more customer centric, to help them find what they're looking for, and all these things putting together. And that's when you achieve success in your product. Now, what are the tools what you can use? Spring for NLP based surveys, Chatter for unified feedback analysis, Thematic for advanced text analytics, Capiche for automated topic discovery, and Product Board for feedback centralization. So look at it from all these aspects, and as a product manager, try to start working with these tools. I'm sure if you take 100 product managers across, 99.99 of them are using all the tools. But the one person who knows how to find the right tool for their particular problem is the winner here, right? So that's where the whole difference comes in for product managers when they're adopting AI. And you should use AI as your co-partner rather than your competition or anything else, or fear that that AI will take over your job. Now, it's a long way to go. Yes, code, because there is a lot of data about coding styles and everything for the last 20-25 years, hence it does coding to a little bit. But yes, this is what I want to share in this video for introducing AI for product managers. Over the next series of videos, I will start focusing on each one and tool, and let's get in more detail. All right. So hope you like this video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done. It will be a huge help to me, and you can reach out to me through our website. I have a calendar link there, and also my calendar link is in the description below to get any of my services in product management, to look at it from a third-party perspective and how things are. Look forward. Thank you.